to have a graduated process or a slower drawdown, or perhaps a smaller training force here, but a more highly skilled force, somebody who can do their job better, I think, than has been done in the past.
Francisco, would you agree with that?
We're now preparing the transition of the UN until 2012 at the end. So in 2011 March, we will take over. At least we call it the full handover. From that on, and we start at we call it five main programs with the UN. First one is about legislation. We have to prepare everything, legal basis for the police. So in terms of legal basis on accountability and everything about the rules of engagement and everything, you have to prepare
That all
everything.
looks very good on paper though, but in the past and from experience we've seen gang warfare on the streets, we've seen the police and the military clashing with each other, we've seen rifts within the military, within the police itself. Is this really a force that's able, that we can trust to take on the national security?
No, because if you look at the past, if you go in deep a little bit into the past, what's happening is even the setup the police without all the attributes, without any necessary accessories, without laws, without regulations, without proper training. Now we are revising that.
Jose Bello, are you just as confident that if regulation, if rules are set down, that the police will set aside their rifts, that they will be able to take over national security?
We are a brilliant institution. As a human being, it has to be complete. We can't only build we can only have a leg and a head, no stomach. It's not a human being. So a police force for us is needed, and it has to be strong enough. Otherwise, this country is going to be run by the gangs.
We've been talking a lot about the police and about the National Security Force, but let's talk about the judicial system here in East Timor as well. Damien, if I could throw this question to you, how confident are you of this country's judicial system? Is it strong?
The judicial system is improving, like the police force. It's an improving institution, but it is still fundamentally weak. There are still too few judges, too few lawyers. The language issue is terribly complicated. We find, for example, in Baucau, if you have a trial, the judge will speak Portuguese. It will be the evidence will be translated into Teton and then into a local language. So you have 3 layers of language just in the evidence system. And of course, there's no real rules about interpretation. So what happens is you find that interpreters actually start to embellish or change or modify evidence. So the judicial system suffers there. It is building, it is getting better and stronger. The other problem, of course, is that there is still an element of a culture of impunity where certain people can engage in criminal activities and be seen to get away with it.
Is this country politically stable enough to stand on its own feet without foreign help?
No, the first one is that you look at anywhere in the world, you cannot just stand by yourself without any external assistance in anywhere. So I think this country we still need some assistance, but we call it a very selective assistance in terms of really getting into the situation, really get into the need of the people and helping people, Timorese, to grow. The second is, I'm quite confident. You look at the political leaders. Now we see there are change of attitude, change of mentality within the political leaders. And then you see a lot of improvement within the institution, the security institutions. You see the first thing you see there is a good, we call it the relationship between our armed forces and the police. They are now helping each other in terms of providing security. And then we see a positive response from these persons, from the police and the armed forces.
It all sounds very, very positive. It certainly sounds very positive.
I'm quite confident in that.
You're very confident. Jose Bello, do you think East Timor can do without foreign help now, 10 years down the line?
Well, we still need the foreign help for me, but not from UN. We don't need the armed police here. I think police has let the Timorese police deal with their own problems at this stage and helping the political stability of the moment that we have. The Prime Minister under one leadership with 2 Secretary of State, that's the more effective formation that at this stage they have, instead of like in the past, the 2 ministers competing each other. So it's very stable at this stage for the defense force and then police force under one. Down the line, needs something to fix. but we need like it must be more selective, as what Mr. Francisco said. So not unilateral but bilateral support.
Damien Kingsbury.
We have to keep in mind that Timor-Leste started from zero, and it's built and it's come a very long way, and any state going through that process is going to stumble. Timor-Leste stumbled in 2006, it's back on its feet. I think it's vastly more stable than it has been, and I'm reasonably confident about its stability in the future. Timor-Leste will continue to need assistance from its friends, and its friends will be there, and I think that's the important thing, that nobody's abandoning Timor-Leste, and Timor-Leste doesn't want to be abandoned by its friends. So the question really after 2012 is what sorts of international relations does it have, and how can its friends assist it into the future?
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. And that's all the time we have for this edition of 101 East. You can always follow the program through our website, Facebook and podcast. From all the team here in Dili, East Timor, thanks for watching.
Business Latest is brought to you by Qatar Tourism Authority. Business Latest is brought to you by Qatar Tourism Authority.
From local traders to international finance, it's commerce that makes the world go round. For global companies and developing markets, communication is the currency, and information is the most valuable commodity. Counting the cost at this time on Al Jazeera.
The times change. The instruments evolve. The battlegrounds shift.
This is America! Our country!
But the international struggle continues.
He was murdered!
Uncompromising, hard-hitting investigations.
I can't get no justice from no one in Jamaica.
People and power, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Malaysia has created the world's tallest self-installing wellhead platform and designed the largest and most advanced racecourses. Discover Malaysia's service excellence at the Malaysia Services Exhibition Abu Dhabi. Register with Martrade.